Good everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the the author's quill. I was going to say the author's critic there for a minute. I'm thinking of a whole different other show, but anyway, welcome to the author's quill. I hope everyone's having a good afternoon or good morning or good evening wherever you happen to be watching us from on our big, beautiful blue planet. I notice our international audience is growing every week, so it's nice to see all over there. And I see quite a few people logged in from London tonight, so I hope you're enjoying it. What is it? What is it? 10 o'clock over there right now? Oh man, it's not even late for y'all. Y'all just chilling out, watching 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Why don't y'all out in the out in the bar, a pub playing darts? There you go. Why aren't you not in the pub playing darts? Shame on you, Brit. Shame, shame, shame. I appreciate y'all hanging out, listening with us tonight. It's great. We have Larry Niven with us and John Goodwin. I'm gonna do a proper intro in just a second. Remember, guys, if you have any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, you can always write to Michelle DeRoche. That's her job, and she'll take real good care of you, or she'll just kick you somewhere. So I'm not sure which way it'll go, but if you're looking for a particular guest, or you have a particular guest that you really want, it doesn't matter what show it is. It could be this show, it could be any show in the network out of the 30 shows we have right now. Send the person, when you send us the name, try to give us as much information as you can, some kind of bio on the person, maybe an email or a phone number contact. Make it easy for the host or the person who does guest acquisitions for that host, because then you have a much better chance of getting the guest that you probably want on your show. Tonight we have Larry Niven with us. Larry is probably one of the most prolific authors around. Probably got more awards than anybody knows. We're going to ask him about those later in the show. He's also a judge for Writers of the Future. Very nice guy. I got to meet him the first year. The first year, he probably thought I was a crazy man running around the gala. The second year, him and I got to spend some time together walking around and talking. But I find him to do a very, very interesting character. And we have John Goodwin with us tonight from Galaxy Press. And he's also over there with Writers of the Future. And we're going to talk about all this in a little while. And by the way, this is all coming up in just 4 months, I believe, right? Yes, 4 months out from the big event, and we're going to see how all of that goes. But guys, welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a good afternoon. And how's things, people? How's things, Trixie?
Well, I'm doing good. It's great here, and I'm so excited that we got Larry on the show today.
Yes, I am too. Larry, you got so much work. You got so many things you've done. I don't even know where to start with you. I mean, I was looking through his Wikipedia bio this afternoon. I mean, the thing is freaking this long. You and then I see this thing about this UFO show. That was because that's one of the first things I wanted to ask him about. But I just found the whole thing, the way it flowed, to be very interesting. So, Larry, let me ask you a question, man. What made you decide you want to start writing? Or what better yet, what was it that told you in your head, hey, I can be a writer, I can be an author?
I was daydreaming in math class, and my daydreams started to take the shape of stories. I thought I'd give it a try. Truly, I had run out of options.
I love that. I did a lot of daydreaming myself in math class. Oh man. So I mean, so what did you start out with? I mean, what was your first real publication? What was it? Because you got to remember, I'm a layman. John knows all of this stuff, but I'm a layman. Yeah. So I'm just curious, what was it, and how did you come about doing it?
First short story was The Coldest Place in Worlds of If, 1964. June. No, September.
I think I was 30 seconds old then. I was a little older than that. But still.
First novel was World of Tabs.
So when you started writing, was it how can I ask this? How do you write? I mean, first, did you do by hand, like on a notebook or a typewriter? And I mean, I know today we have computers and all that we can write on, but I mean, what is it that you feel really comfortable writing with?
It started with handwriting. I bought a typewriter pretty quickly.
Not bad. You get a few more words in that way, huh? Yeah.
I learned to typewrite from a manual.
That must have been fun.
Some of it was fun, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
collecting rejection slips. That's not fun.
I bet. I remember typing class. I'm still cursing over typing class, by the way. I was like, and this was my first probably year of typing, was like this.
Mm.
You're tight now because you're not good tight.
No, I can use 10 fingers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the way now. See, if you can use all your fingers, you're actually really typing and not just kind of playing around. So what is your favorite genre? I mean, what is it that you like to get? Do you get out there and fantasize, or do you really like a hardcore science, or maybe a more modern, a more closer to time science? I'm curious because when I talk to people, especially people I know who've written in sci-fi, I'm always fascinated because I'm a big sci-fi geek, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, really, I'm a geek and a half.
Uh, I like hard science fiction because people were not doing it when I got into the field. There was room for me. I like hard science fiction, but fantasy is fun too. Fantasy is pretty much giving myself a day off.
That's your vacation day. Huh? Well, I'm gonna write a little fantasy today. Now, can you cross through them? I mean, can you kind of like twist the two together to come out with a story that you maybe have not thought of before?
Sure, but I greatly admire a couple of science fantasy quadrilogies. The Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe, and the Saga of Pliocene Exile by Julian May. They found the field pretty much empty, science fantasy that is, after it petered out in the 50s and 60s.
Well, I know as a kid coming up in the '60s, there was some really good sci-fi out there, and there was some. How can I say this politely? I don't know. Some people were just off daydreaming that they were writing sci-fi. I don't know how else to say it, but I mean, because there was some really good sci-fi came out of the '60s, and it would be nice to see some of that stuff taken today and modernized a little bit to see what it would turn into. Just especially the ones that were turned into TV series or into movies or stuff like that. It would be nice to see it modernized. I would like to see like the Forbidden Planet brought up to a more modern, and just to see how it would look from 2024. Even though I still can't believe Leslie Nielsen was the actor. I only knew him as a comedian. When I seen him in that movie, I was like, wait, he's playing leading man. I didn't even know he played a leading man. So that was an interesting thing for me. So you have any favorite sci-fi movies or any favorite sci-fi TV series? Or
I'd leave the planet alone. It's perfect. And favorite Destination Moon.
Destination. I do. I remember seeing that. I had to go back in my head for a minute. Yeah, if it was sci-fi somewhere along the way I watched, it probably drove my wife crazy because I used to sit up and from like 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. just watching any kind of the old sci-fi, or well, now some of it was newer, but I just never could seem to get enough of it.
Most movies of interplanetary travel end up going transcendental. There's just no way to end a story of space travel. There are some other movies that are not so ambitious and fulfill their ambitions. Rollerball and Westworld, for instance.
Yeah. Yeah, because Westworld was a challenging thing in the beginning. I mean, they had the. I mean, that was kind of. I guess when it first came out, it was a little bit on the risky side. Yeah, but it seemed to pan out. Now I can't really speak for the new Westworld because I've only seen parts of it. I mean the new series, so I can't speak to it. I can speak to the movie because I've seen it a couple of times, but the new sci-fi series, my wife loved it. She thought it was great. I just haven't had a chance to see it, but I like stuff like that. I like anything that first off makes me think. I don't want to open a book cover and go, oh shit, I know the end. And I don't get me wrong. I've opened a lot of books on my day and said, oh shit, I know the end. And so I get aggravated with that. I want a story. I want something that grabs me, something that walks me around. All I hear is excellent stuff about you. So I just love anything that makes me, it don't always have to make me think. Sometimes it can just be fun. There's a lot of sci-fi that is just goofy and fun, and that's what it is. But I mean, do you have any preference for that? I mean, Larry, I know different writers kind of feel different moods, and then somebody feels like they can write in all the moods. I'm just curious.
I'm trying to retrieve a title in my head. Galaxy Voyage, something like that. There was a perfect send-up of Star Trek.
Oh, was it? Well, why do I know that name from some? I'm gonna have to look that up because for some reason it sounds really familiar. Oh, okay, Galaxy Quest. Yeah,
yeah,
Galaxy Quest.
Fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was stupid as hell, but it was just a great rip off of Star Trek. And you know what? No one at Star Trek got offended
for Star Trek. Spaceballs was the other one like that.
Yeah, Spaceballs. And somebody asked Captain Kirk, or such a Kirk, but somebody asked him at a press conference what he thought about Galaxy Quest, and he said, "I loved it. It was funny as hell." And but because a lot of people thought the Star Trek people were getting offended, but I don't know why they would have got offended. It was just fun. I mean,
they play games among themselves.
Yeah.
Now, Larry, you did. You created this whole universe called Known Space, and in the
John. I think the aliens got John, Larry.
I think his machine is frozen.
John. This is Elon Musk calling John. This is Elon Musk calling John. John, come in, John. Oh man, well we'll wait for him to come back. Now I didn't get to read this. Now all I seen was this title I was going by. It said UFO. It said you wrote this with someone else. It was UFO. What the hell was the damn title now?
I'm not much into UFOs.
No, but this I don't think this was like. I'm not sure if this was about UFOs. If I can find the title, I'll bring it back and ask you. And I just had seen the word UFO because UFOs to me need to stay in their own genre. I mean, really and truly, UFOs have its own place. It doesn't need to be in sci-fi writing. I don't, because I think sci-fi writing mostly should be about identified. If we're going to talk about aliens, let's talk about aliens. If we're going to talk about whatever, we're going to talk about them. I don't think we need to spend the whole movie guessing on who's who. It's like I was at a conference just recently, and there was a big argument about Babylon 5. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. And people were talking about, was it great? Was it not? Was it good? Was it not? For me, the only thing I really liked about Babylon 5 was I felt that it portrayed the human race in the series close to what we'd be when we actually get to that point to living in space. That, I mean, there was a lot of bullshit politics going on. There was a lot of backstabbing, a lot of bullshit. It just seems like those kind of sci-fis also interest me. Things that I feel like The Expanse that's on Amazon. That's another one that feels like it's only maybe 100, 150 years away. Maybe even sooner. It just seems.
Title, John.
Yeah.
It's the title of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's well they wrote it in oh hell, now I can't remember who wrote it. There was 6 books, I think, and then they turned it into like a mini series. Not even a mini series. It's like 6 seasons on Amazon is what they did. It's an interesting show. Now, so I know we were talking about fantasy sci-fi. And if you ever get a chance, there's a series called Altered Carbon that does fantasy sci-fi really well. If you can get past the nudity now.
Altered Carbon was wonderful.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great series. It was
it looked very hard to do.
Yeah, it does. Jamie, no, there's a lot of nudity in the beginning of Altered Carbon, but it's a great little series. It's well thought out. Whoever wrote it was actually paying attention. They kind of kept the technologies that were semi-believable while you were in there, which I always like that kind of good. Well, no, I don't mind. I like fantasy too. Don't get me wrong, people. I can go off on a big fantasy too, but sometimes I just like technology that feels like I can understand it. I don't know if y'all understand that or not, but I just feel comfortable with it. It's one of the reasons I like Star Trek as a kid. because the way Roddenberry presented the technology was something that was half-ass believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a good thing. Yes, we know it was a Western. Oh, you made it back, John? We thought the aliens got you, man.
They did. It was brutal, but I made it back.
Larry and I were counting the probe time.
With Larry.
But we were just talking about altered carbon when you popped back in.
Yeah.
And but what's your favorite? So I know you've written a lot of stuff. So if you had to pick a favorite, and I know this is hard. I ask this to authors all the time, and sometimes they just look at me like I'm losing my mind. But do you have a favorite out of everything you've written? I mean, something that you say, okay, if I had to put my work out there first, this is what I'd want you to read first.
Really, it depends on who I'm talking to.
Well, that makes sense, though.
A non-science fiction fan, I'd give them Lucifer's Hammer. A military type, I'd give them Footfall. A dyed-in-the-wool science fiction fan, I'd give him Ringworld. A hard science fiction fan, I'd give him The Integral Trees.
Well, see, that sounds perfect to me. See, most of the people I ask this question to don't even answer it that way. They just say, "Oh, they just pick one out," and that's the way it should be, because it really does matter on who you're talking to. You know, you might give somebody something that they might like. What the hell is this? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about, Christopher? Mockingbird? What? English, man, English. What are you talking about? Well, when you get your little paragraph down there straight, we'll read it and see what it is. So now we got John back, even though the aliens took him for a little while. I actually think that was Emily came and snatched him out of the room. We know what
were you talking about when you froze up?
Yeah, so we were talking about, at least I was asking about known space and Ringworld, because we talked before about the story of how you had to develop the science for that, and then other tech nerds challenged you on certain points that you had to fix. And so the importance of doing the proper research or knowing the correct science in order to do something. Can you talk about that?
I think this is where my mathematics background got most used. I don't use it very much, but I needed to work out the specs for the Ringworld. Rate of spin, size, gravity.
Yeah, because you had the whole thing there you put together, but you said that you were challenged by somebody saying that the direction was wrong, or the size of the ring or something was off that you had to fix.
Let's see, Freeman Dyson, I asked his opinion. He said he couldn't figure out why I didn't build a lot of smaller ones. 1 million miles across gives you climate. Orbited around the sun instead of enclosing the sun.
So you did the big one instead of the bunch of the small ones.
I wanted a cheap Dyson sphere.
I don't know if there's any such thing as a cheap Dyson sphere. Oh, Lord. Actually, though, from all the physics I've ever heard, there are possible, not of course, not for our level of technology, but for somebody else's level of technology. Yes, and didn't that one out by Kepler 571 or something? They still think that is a Dyson sphere being built out there because of the way the sun disappears for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. They can't figure out what the hell it is. And at first they thought maybe it was an asteroid belt, but they don't know what it is. And just in case y'all noticed, ladies and gentlemen, just recently, NASA changed the way, and SETI changed the way that they look for aliens by looking for chemicals in the atmosphere that may be related to technology. And now on 4 planets, they think they may have found something.
Gregory Benford wants us looking at the galactic core for intelligences. Well, for life.
Yeah. I think I hate to say it this way, but I really think life is going to turn out to be the norm and not the ad norm now. It ain't all going to be intelligent by any means, but there's going to be a lot of intelligent life. And there's just going to be a lot of other stuff out there. I would bet you money that you're going to find life 7 or 8 places in our solar system, if not more. Some of them may just be fish or plankton or whatever. But there's a couple of places. Yeah, there's a couple of places you're going to probably find some type of life. Well, who wants to be alone? It's all like all my friends always tell me that I read a book just recently about why God wouldn't create life on other planets. So I wrote the author back and said, "Why would you limit the creator? It's the creator, man. Give me a break." I'm like, it created everything. What's to say it didn't create some other stuff? I just, stuff like that just flips me over. But it was a boring book. I'm not going to say the title because I don't want to offend the guy. But it was one of the more boring things I've had to read in the last few years. Because I really do. I'm a big geek for any kind of sci-fi, a lot of fantasy. Lately, I've been looking at, I guess you would call it political sci-fi. I'm not sure what the hell you would call it, but there seems to be a lot of politics in it. And I can only do politics for so long, and then I got to move on to something else.
The longer you continue a story, the more the politics creeps in.
Yeah.
How's that worked out for you? How's that worked out for you, Larry?
What did you say, John?
How's that worked out for you, where the longer the story, the more politics?
Yeah. Writers learn this. It's a hard trap to avoid.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially if there's multiple characters involved and multiple attitudes involved, especially if religions get into it. Somewhere along the line, politics is going to have to creep in there, and I mean, if you're a good writer, I guess you can write it in without any problem. I couldn't, but someone like you could probably, Larry. But I mean, some people just can't seem to fit it into the story correctly. It's like, how can I say this nicely? It just doesn't belong there. You can go through the story, which in the beginning is a really good sci-fi story, and then all of a sudden you found yourself marred in all this politics, which is still in the sci-fi story, but it kind of seems to take you out of whatever that trip you were going through in the beginning with that sci-fi, where you were enjoying the movie or the book, and then all of a sudden now you just feel like you're marred in a bunch of cracker politics like we're dealing with today. And I realize, and I'm not, I tell people this all the time. I don't need to learn lessons from things I'm reading or watching. If I want to learn a lesson, I can turn on CNN or go to church. When I read a book or watch a movie or a series, I'm looking to escape to a different world. That's what I'm looking for.
So we writers, we're all compulsive teachers.
So that's even better because
you can't escape
that.
Yeah, well, you're also a philosopher too, with what you put out there, like in Ringworld, because that's the one I'm most familiar with. But there's definitely the whole philosophy of how they make it to Ringworld and what gets them when they arrive at Ringworld. There's a definite, you're philosophizing on things too.
It was a philosophical stunt. Tila Brown with her psychic power for luck. Yeah.
And she was the person that she always got the lucky break. She always had luck, so she was able to survive all these other encounters that would otherwise result in other people being dead. She survived it. She always had the luck. Mm-hmm. She was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, you wrote some of the Land of the Lost? Any of the good ones?
I wrote a few of those, yeah.
Yeah, I've probably seen all of them. So after next time, I'm now going to go look and watch and see. Christopher said he's asking if you wrote any of the Star Treks. I think he did, didn't you?
I wrote one Star Trek cartoon.
Hey, well,
I didn't jump into the Star Trek universe. I should have.
It's
the cartoons came late.
Yeah, they did. I remember when they came out, because I think I watched the first season of them, and then I don't know, life took over after that. Real life took over, I guess I should say, and went on from there. Did you have any favorite series you wanted to write for, or that you were writing for?
David's series was Land of the Lost, right?
Yeah.
I wrote one with. They were all written with David. Two of them were. Look, here's what happened. I wrote a story for David that he came up with a plot line. And then the studio started making changes. This was downstream, and the idea was that a river flows in a circle and back up to its beginning. Rivers don't do that.
This one I've seen.
Finished. David was going to turn it into a street with street lamps. I wanted to back out at that point. And then they decided to do it with a blue screen, which meant they kept the story. I'd had it by then with what the studio could do to my precious text. So David and I worked it out. He needed help fulfilling his promises. He gave me story ideas. I wrote the first draft. He as collaborator finished them, and the story editor accepted them.
Yeah, if it worked, it worked.
That happened to two more of those.
I mean, if it was producing good stories and it was working, I guess that's the way it is. I mean, I've seen lots of collaborations over the years, so
yeah, it worked.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
Yeah, and you know, Land of the Lost was fun to watch. So, what do you mean, Gene? You mean you've never seen Land of the Lost? Well, just type in on any of Amazon or TV. If you're on Roku or any of those TV things like that, just type in; it'll come right up. Or I imagine you can find it on several streaming services on different services. Last time I seen it was on Amazon and Netflix, so it shouldn't be hard to find. It's probably on Hulu now and Disney. Yeah, just type in; it's easy to find. What? Sorry, I was trying to read this question that went by, but I scrolled by entirely too fast. So, I mean, what are you planning on? I mean, you got. What are you working on right now? Anything? You just taking it easy, taking a break, or?
I'm working with Stephen Barnes on an assassin who has to stop the destruction of a fusion plant on Greenland, on the Greenland ice cap. Something I've been wanting to do for years.
Sounds fun.
Gregory Benford and I had something going, but I'm afraid David has, that is, Gregory has had a stroke.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll recover okay.
And I've slowed way down since I was prolific.
You know, we all get slower. Trust me, I've gotten slower over the years. I'm like, but my people around me are probably happy I've actually slowed down some, but you know, well, I don't think I've slowed down any. But look, my rule is I'm gonna keep going until they put me in a box. That's just how it's gonna be, or whatever they're gonna do with me after I'm gone. But I want to enjoy life and stuff like that. Things that, I mean, writing seems like it makes you happy. You feel like you enjoy it and you're comfortable with it, and you're not just doing it for a career. You know, and that probably shows through in the stories. I mean, I've talked to enough authors now. I've talked to several hundred authors now. So I've noticed the ones who are just writing, just to write, not to get rich, not to be millionaires. One, they usually seem to be more financially comfortable. And two, they seem to enjoy their overall writing more. You know, they just seem to enjoy it. It's I don't know. I guess maybe for some of y'all, it's an escape. I know getting on here for me is an escape. So, I mean, do you use any of your work it's just to get away from the real world for a while?
Yeah, sure. But I need a story to back me up.
Well,
where I'm going.
You gotta have something to put your teeth into. Huh? So, okay, look, I can't just sit here and twiddle my thumbs. Oh man.
So I'm curious, when you're co-authoring stories with authors like Stephen Barnes, you used to do a lot with Jerry Pournelle. How'd you do it? Did you start off with the opening chapter and then they do the next one, take it how it goes, or do you lay out a timeline, storyline, and then how do you do that?
We used to drink and talk until we had stories. Then later, Jerry gave up the drinking, so we used to hike and talk until we had a story. And he helped me on a story that was the burning city a fantasy set in Los Angeles 12,000 years ago when magic still worked, right? He helped me on that one until we finally realized he had to get involved as collaborator. Burning City.
Right.
That's what I would give a Los Angeles person.
So when you do a book, then whether you're working with Barnes, do you then flesh out the whole storyline and then start writing it?
We're still working on the structure. Stephen's done a lot of text, and we may have a section of a book, or maybe it'll stand alone. We're not sure.
Got it.
I'm sorry. So I was getting 5 billion texts at one time there. I was like, Lord, people, stop. Wait, what's that? All right. So Christopher Reeve, like in Christopher Reeve, like the Superman guy, really give me a break, man. It's really your name. Anyway, so what you want him to write for? So he's just this gentleman whose name is Christopher Reeves. He said that's his real name. He's from Miami, Florida, and he wants to know what would you write for a new Superman? Well, he can't just give you his ideas, man. I mean, come on.
I wrote my Superman article, Man of Steel, Woman of Kleenex, decades ago, many decades, 50 years, maybe. I haven't been able to do that kind of riff on other superheroes. Other superheroes are too well designed.
Yeah,
I have wondered about Reed Richards' sex life.
When you write that, I want to know about that.
Given he can attain any shape.
You know, that's a good point. I never thought of it like that, but that's actually a damn good point. So you need to write something like that, Larry. That shit'll be great. It'll be hilariously funny too. What do you mean, Christopher? You don't know who Reed Richards is? You don't watch superheroes? You know the Fantastic Four? No, you don't know who they are. Where are you from? Are you like from a different country or something? No, I'm just curious. I mean, some superheroes you should just know because they've been everywhere in our country forever. Doesn't matter how old you are. There's some superheroes you should just know. Well, you know. Well, where are you from? Australia? Oh, you from New Zealand? You Kiwi? Well, hello, Kiwi. How you doing? Maybe that's why you don't know who the Fantastic Four are. Look it up. Look up Reed Richards, and you know what Larry and I are talking about.
I'm surprised. I thought Marvel Comics was everywhere.
As far as I know, Marvel Comics is everywhere. This Kiwi must live out in some horse form out in the middle of nowhere or something.
Anyway, he doesn't know.
Yes, he doesn't. So I still think it's kind of funny. That's like not knowing that Los Angeles has a fault line there. I'm just saying, it's one of those things. Okay, Bruce. What was it? When? Well, he said he was dreaming in school. So he's just writing in. Where are you from? You from LA? Okay. Anyway, he was writing in asking, what age were you when you really started writing? Not just playing around, but just writing. Actually saying, okay, I'm here. I'm writing. And
I was 24.
Well, you was just a baby.
Oh yeah, Harlan got started earlier than I did.
What do you mean, Pete? Oh, you want to know if he went to school for writing? Well, I guess I'll ask him. Did you go to school for writing?
No, I went to schools that had writing programs, writing lessons.
Yeah,
and they were very good at that.
Well, that way you can get two educations at one time.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did when I joined the service.
Carpentry in California.
Cali. Oh, so you want to know? Wait, right? What? So Michelle Reed's right in. She's saying, "Where are you from? You're from California too. What is everything tonight's in from California?"
You got a problem with that?
She wants you to write "Escape from San Francisco." I don't know if that's sarcastic or if you for real here or not, but you really escapes. Well, I don't know. Snake Plissken's guy, he's kind of old to be escaping from San Francisco. I'm just leaving that alone. There's so many ways I can go with that. I'm just leaving that alone. That's going to get me in trouble. I can already tell. There's who's escaping? You mean Nancy Pelosi? Yeah. See, I'm just leaving this alone. Mm-hmm. So, who is this? Hold on. Let me move this over where I can actually see who's texting me. Who is this? Elizabeth. Hey, Elizabeth, where are you from? Boston. Hello. Are you going to party in your car around the corner? So, what do you got for us there? So she was hoping that you would write something in like a deep space sci-fi where they're jumping all around to different worlds and making deals. Are you talking like something like Serenity or something different? Well, I'm just asking, so I got an idea what you're looking for. So you're just like a group of people in one ship that are going around, or is it just? Well, you got to tell him, man, what you want. You're probably going to write it for you, but you can still tell him. So you just want. So anyway, she's wanting you to write something that has a really good crew, much better than what you would see on something like Star Trek. Be a little bit more stable in the way the universe works, and have them going around visiting different worlds. That sounds a lot like Star Trek. Don't we have strange new worlds out there?
Like
so she's saying she wants it without lessons. No, yeah. without without being woke. I don't know if you can do that anymore, sweetie. You know what? In all fairness, I give woke people a hard time, but people don't realize if you go back and watch the original series Star Trek, it was pretty damn woke. We just didn't care back then. For some reason, we care now. Oh no, Star Trek's got a lot of firsts, including the first white man kiss a black woman on television. There's a lot of firsts there, and a lot of lessons going through Gene Roddenberry's head back in the day. I don't know. Maybe he felt America needed some kind of moral guidance. I have no idea what was going on. That's John. That's not Larry. That's Larry up in the top corner. That's John on the bottom. What do you want to know? Oh, no. So that I can answer that. John don't have to answer that. So it's galaxypress.com. Yes. It's if you want to buy something, if you want to join or become a writer or submit something, or just take the course, writersofthefuture.com.
Yeah, I'll use that as a point of a bridge here on this. So Larry's been a judge for Writers of the Future for 30 plus years. He received a Harvard Lifetime Achievement Award probably 20 years ago, and we've almost got 1,000 different writers and artists that we've celebrated over the last. This is our 40th year, so I'm very anxious, Larry, for you, when you come this year to the awards ceremony, because it's going to be a real special deal celebrating 4 decades of helping writers and artists. So that you've been part of that since almost the beginning, which has been awesome.
I like being a judge. I like the judging of the stories. It keeps me entertained.
Yeah. It's like it's voices. It's the new voices, So Larry's helping to decide where science fiction is going in the years to come, because invariably 3 or 4 of the winners are going to be the big published authors, 5, 6, 7 years down the road. And it just pans out every year. So this is great that he's helping to direct the future of science fiction and fantasy as one of the judges.
Since we're on this particular thing, I'll let you talk in just a second. We have this collection behind me from 30 to 39. See, it's in a beautiful thing. I'll take it down and show y'all in a minute. Since Larry's on and he's been with him for so long, and this is one of the ones that we're going to give away. We're going to go ahead and give it away tonight. You have to tell me, though, you have the whole show. We got 20 minutes left. You have to tell me what was the first thing Larry ever wrote, and you have to be caller 30 or 31 because I know y'all never get on the same one, and it's yours.
I know.
No, you already got one anyway. You can't have one.
What book are you giving away?
So let me pull it down. Hold on, give me a second, guys.
It's a whole set of volumes 30 to 39. It's a flip list we made.
So here we go. Well, hold on, I'm all tangled up in wires now. Let me get this out of the way. So this is the actual collection. And then of course you've got this beautiful artwork on it and stuff. So when you're looking at it, whoop, Joe's trying to dump the books out on it. Now this is all around. It's not just on the back. It's all around. It's really nice. Now this is it, people. This one's going today. Yes. These are all good stories. I can tell y'all for myself because I've read all of them now. And whoa! I'm trying to wreck stuff up. Let's go put it back where it belongs. What, those back there? No, nobody's getting those. Those are classics. That's all the great philosophers, and not only that, it's a special collection. Y'all are not getting y'all fingers on that. No, sorry. But we will give these away today. You got to tell me Larry's very first thing he ever wrote. I guess you could cheat and go to Wikipedia, or you can go back and listen to the stories we were talking about earlier in the show. Either way, if you number 30, or for some reason 30 gets it wrong, 31, but who was the first one after 30 to get it right, it's yours. Yes. Well, I hate to see it go because it's been a backdrop for me for a while, but it's, it was designed to be given away. That's what it was up there for. Well, no, it's honor on Larry because Larry's been a great judge forever, and Larry's a lot of fun to talk to when we're at the gala. And so you got to just tell me his first story. If you keep it up, I'll make y'all tell me his first and his last. So you better get it straight the first time.
But one of these spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah. So Larry, you were gonna say something a bit ago?
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm void of things to say.
That's my brain half the time. It's fishing around in there for something to say.
What was the story that Larry got you inspired for science fiction? For me, my first story that I read that I read it twice, was Lensman series by E. Doc Smith. I just loved that series. It was just like I got totally enmeshed. I read the Skylark series too that he wrote, but the Lensman series to me was like way cool.
Yeah, I came to the Lensman series late. I wish I'd discovered it when I was younger.
Yeah, it developed that love in science fiction for me. So it really was, for me, the golden age of science fiction was as a teen. That's for me. That's when it was. It really got me hooked.
Let's see. Carolyn Rosin's writing. Hey, Carolyn, how you been? Carolyn Rosin. You're probably not familiar with her, Larry. She is Werner von Braun's assistant. She used to work for them doing the space program. How you doing, Carolyn? Everything's good. Life's treating you good. Lecture tour is doing good. Nice to see you in the room with us tonight. What you got for Larry? Oh, well, I can ask him. So she was asking if you could do a series on Mars. You mean wait, what was the Martian Chronicles? Is that what you're talking about? That's the only real series I can think of from Mars is the Martian Chronicles, and then the very new series, the series Mars. There's
Christ Squirrel did a whole thing on Mars too.
Several Mars stories while they were changing Mars. While the probes were changing Mars. Every time they changed Mars, I had to write a new story.
Yeah, and that a bit
about 4.
So what was your most popular Mars story, Larry?
I have no idea. They all published in magazines, and then I went on writing.
Got it.
Yeah. I do remember the Mars Chronicles. I can't. Who was that wrote that? No, that wasn't Roddenberry. Who was that wrote that? I can't remember. It's too long ago. But no, he's a famous writer, whoever he is. It might even been the guy who did whatchamacallit on Mars. No, not Robinson Crusoe on Mars. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different writer, is what I meant. Yeah.
Ray Bradbury wrote Martian Chronicles.
Yeah. Okay.
I know
So
who you're thinking of. I just can't retrieve the name.
yeah. So yeah. No. I mean, the series was okay. I mean, I don't.
Green Mars, Blue Mars.
Yeah, Green Mars, Blue Mars. You know, they still got that Green Mars, Blue Mars stuff going on today. And then they've got now what they got? No, they got Red Mars, Blue Mars. One group, they got these books now about keeping Mars pristine and terraforming Mars into a blue planet. I'm like, I tell you, people, I ain't living on Mars if I got to walk around with an oxygen mask and a suit on all the time. I can deal with the oxygen mask, but I don't be wearing pressure suits, so you're gonna have to do some terraforming. I'm just telling you. Besides, it's not gonna be Mars in 10 years or 20 years. Elon will be taking it over. It'll be Elon Muskville. Yes, he's gonna change the name of Mars to Elon, and it'll be Elon World. Yes, that's what's gonna happen. Y'all think I'm telling y'all, he is the evil guy from Moonraker. That's who he is. But anyway, go ahead, Larry.
Go ahead.
That was too much.
What were you saying there, Larry?
I was saying that they'll change the name of Mars to Barsoom if they do anything at all.
Oh, that would be cool if they did that, though.
Yeah.
I could live with that. I could live with that. What was the name of that story?
Well, that was Edgar Rice Burroughs, his whole series there.
Yeah, but what was who is he? John on Mars, or what the hell was it?
Mars.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember for nothing. Oh no, the new one's good. I enjoy it. Well, there's two new ones actually, people. One's much better than the other one, though. But Barsoom would work for me. I could live with that. I really could. And you know what? I think it actually sounds better than old funky ass Mars. Go! It's John Carpenter stories. Go check them out.
John Carter.
Yeah, it's John Carter on Mars. So yeah, go check it out, and it's funny as hell. That's all I can tell you. Well, it's got some seriousness to it. It's got some pretty good sci-fi in it as well, but there's a lot of comedy in it as well too. So, well, I got to tell you, I'm gonna be honest about this. To me, most sci-fi, to me, it doesn't matter what it's about. It has to have some comedy, because I learned, working in special forces and doing everything in my life, even in the most stressful situations where your ass is about to get your head blown off, somebody's going to crack a joke. And that's the real world. In the fake world, everybody's going to be like, but in the real world, somebody's going to be like, Because once stress reaches a certain point, you have to break the ice or it'll take you over. And one of the things we were taught in the service was, when you got to a certain level of stress, was to crack a joke. Kept you from getting your head blown off. I know, people don't ask me. I'm not a psychologist. I was just there. But I do, well, Star Trek was full of, what are you talking about? Star Trek didn't have comedy in it. Star Trek had all kind of comedy. Yes, it was hilarious. The only thing I know recently that was done was, what the hell was the name of it? It was a remake of, damn. See, getting old is a bitch sometimes. It's
Yes.
So all right, Larry, you got me beefing still. So originally the first one was kind of campy and kind of funny. And it's the one when they with the 12 colonies and the robots go and kill everybody. And then the first one had a lot of comedy. The second one was much more serious. The series was, well, I should say the third one actually. The series was much. You had Starbuck was one of the main characters, and why I can't remember. This is beyond me.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica. Thank you, Larry. Because it was not coming. So the very first Battlestar Galactica was just funny. It was kind of stupid, kind of campy, kind of good. There's some good sci-fi in it, but it was kind of campy. The second one was even a little more campy, and then the third one was just really serious. It was a little too serious for me. There needed to be some kind of, because Starbuck to start off with in the first two series was insane and did stupid stuff and was funny sometimes. And the new series, she was just pissed. It's about the only way.
Starbuck is a she, because the Starbuck was originally a he.
Yeah, in the third one, she's a she. And I should say she's a she, but it was anyway. Starbuck was a she in the third one, and the actor was a good actor. She's played in other stuff. As a matter of fact, she's in in Mandalorian. She's playing the woman in charge of in the charge of the Mandalorians. So she's been around for a while. She's a pretty decent actress, just like the Chinese lady who plays and she was in Shield and a bunch of other stuff. And so but the problem is there was just no comedy in it, none. And the guy who was playing the villain, actually, he was a pretty funny actor, and this just was nothing. And that was it for me. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people liked it. I just personally just thought they needed to be a joke or two in it. Didn't even have to be a lot, just something to break up the drama. It was just too much drama. My brain was just overloaded on drama. What's that, Marty? What do you got? Larry seems like a really nice guy. He is a really nice guy. I've met him like 3 times. He's been very nice, very cordial, and very nice every time I've met him. Wait, what you want him to write? Oh, wait. Let me get this now. Are you serious? So Marty wants you to write. She wants you to write Godzilla takes over Moscow.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, because Putin might come get you, man. You better be careful talking about Moscow. No, baby. I don't think that's a legit story, but still. What are you saying that since the Japanese work for the Americans now that Godzilla only attacks Moscow? Right? All right, if you say so. If you say so, I'm good with that. Larry's like, you crazy, but we're good with that. What's that? Oh, you went and made your name Reed Richards. So actually, you must have went and looked up who Reed Richards was, so you could make a name Reed Richards. Oh man! So what's your question or what's your comment for that, man? Because I don't know if you got a question or comment. Oh, you want him to write? So what do you want him to write? He seems like a pretty busy man. I mean, y'all need to start paying this man. Maybe I should do a startup and pay this guy to get him to write y'all some stuff. I'm just saying. Oh no. So first off, that Sean Hazlitt writes that kind of stuff. He writes right now he wrote Weird World China. He does trilogies with him. Yes, no, that's not no, you just know him because he was on with me a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, that's all that was. Yeah, sorry about that. No, this was somebody who was trying to get you to write about on a futuristic World War III. And
Larry, have you done any near future science fiction?
Get into by footfall.
Footfall, that's near future? Okay.
That's my World War III approach.
Oh.
Okay.
Can you tell me just a little bit about it without giving away the book?
It's an alien invasion of Earth in present time.
Yeah, I can go with that kind of stuff.
Time was in the 1980s or 90s.
Well, see, you can slip some comedy into the 80s now because the 80s, the whole decade was comedy. I mean, sure. Especially with the hairdos. What is that, Marcus? Where are y'all from? You know, I like you to tell me where you're from. It's one of those pet peeves of mine. So, where are you from? Chahula, Brazil. I've never heard of it. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but anyway, how you doing down in there in Brazil? Nice to see you writing in. What? Oh, okay. He was just writing in to compliment you. He had seen some of the Lost Worlds with you. I guess that your name must be on him or something because he was just telling me he had seen some that you had written.
Okay.
And it's I liked Lost Worlds. It was a little campy, but I still liked it. Again, people, I like a little funniness in it. I can't help myself. Yeah, because even just put this in perspective for y'all. Hurricane Katrina comes in here, wipes out everything. So, I got a construction business. I have my whole family with me and friends. So I load up my trucks, load up the generators, go pick up everybody. We sing and dance and we're cutting trees out the way. We're having a ball while everybody else around us is crying in devastation. It's all about how you handle things. That's why I like to see just a little comedy in sci-fi, because for us, even though there was devastation completely around us, we were still enjoying life. Because if you don't, you're going to end up biting a big one early. Anyway, I'm sorry, Larry. You got a website you want to tell anybody where they can find you, or anywhere they can go shopping for you? No.
Well, he's at LarryNiven.com, but he's also all over on Amazon, and he's on anywhere you can buy book. He's in all the different bookstores and Barnes and Noble and Books a Million, and in Canada and South America, in Africa. You're translated in other languages too, right, Larry?
I've been translated into a great many languages.
Yeah, he's all over in other translations too.
The last one I watched, The Slaver Weapon, it was in Germany and in German, subtitled.
I'd have to give that to the wife to read this to me. She spent a lot of time over there in Germany when she was young. Marcus, we got time for like 2 questions, so be legit, make them legit questions. Oh, well, okay. So we were talking about Galactica. He said, why can't you just write like 12 like a mini series of Galactica? How do you know he won't even do that? He may not even been a fan of Galactica, Bruce. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Larry. I guess people are fishing for somebody to write some good sci-fi is all it is, because there's not much out there right now. It's let me ask a personal question besides all these crazies. Do you have any, like right now, whatever's going on? I know we talked about Altered Carbon, which is fairly recent. Anything else fairly recent that sci-fi wise that you enjoy? Because for me right now, I'm having a hard time just finding something that really just, grabs me.
I got hooked on Neil Stevenson, if I've got the right name. Cryptonomicon, for instance.
Oh, well, I'll go check it out, because I like I said, I need some serious sci-fi. I'm just kind of
later stuff. I have a problem learning names, and I have a problem learning the names of new writers. By the time I memorize somebody good, he's an old writer.
Don't feel bad. I'm the same way. I'm lousy with names. Good with faces, but lousy with names. I have to hear your name probably 50, 100 times before it actually sticks in my head. And unless it's one of them really, really, really easy names. And even then, sometimes it doesn't want to stick. No, we just asked him if he'd write Galactica. Why are y'all on Galactica all of a sudden? Just because we brought it up one time. Did you think you figured out what the first thing he wrote was? I didn't say his first book. I said the first thing he wrote. Y'all pay attention. I didn't say anything about novels or anything else. I just said the first thing he wrote. Y'all gonna have to go back and listen to the show if you really want to know the truth. We'll see. We'll see who gets it. I know somebody's gonna win it, because I know y'all been listening for a while tonight. Average listening time tonight 78 minutes. So, which is about how long we've been on. Yes. Well. Corrine says you were very nice. It was very nice to hear you tonight, and she hopes you're around to write many more books. Well, that was sweet of you, Corine. Nice to hear you. Where are you from, Corine?
Yeah, thank
you. Yeah,
Portland, Oregon. Hey, well, nice to hear you over there in Portland. That's well, I started telling people, why don't you give me the closest big city to you? Because some of these little cities, y'all come up with these names. I'm like Saskatchewan. I'm like, really? Unfortunately, I can say Saskatchewan, but still, I didn't even think it was a real city the first time I heard it. Where are you from? Aline, where are you from, Aline? Niagara Falls, Canada. Yes, that's where my station manager lives in Niagara. Well, not anymore, but it's where she used to live in Niagara Falls, Canada. What do you got? What do you got? Oh, you've read. So Aline apparently is a fan of yours and has been reading you for how many decades? 3? Damn, Larry, you've been around writing for 3 decades?
I've been around writing for 5 decades.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, Aline actually is a big fan, and she says she has many, many stories and magazine clippings and all sorts of other stuff that you've written. Seems like she's a collector. Well, write to Larry, get his email off one of the websites, and write to him and tell him hi. Well, you have to catch him somewhere if you want to get an autograph. I can't help you with that. There's nothing I can do for you with that.
What you want to do for her?
Yeah. No, you're not allowed to just walk up to anybody at the Gailey. They will arrest you. Just so you know ahead of time. You can't just no, that shit don't work like that. I'm sorry to tell you guys. No, it doesn't work like that. No, I would write to Mr. Niven and say, hey, I got this or this, and ask him. Maybe he's going to be somewhere near you, or maybe you can send it to him. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Let's see. One more question, and we're going to go. This is from Kareem. Kareem, where are you at? You are in where? Oh, and why can't I? My brain went out. No, because you said it like that, but it's San Diego, California. I know where you are, but the way you said it made me think it was where the Raiders used to be. So,
Oakland.
yeah, there's something the way he said it. No, I was stationed in San Diego. I love San Diego. It's a beautiful place, and the ground didn't shake there much when I was there either. So anyway, what do you got for Mr. So what do you got for us? And well, thank you. We all appreciate you writing in and your grad. So you've been also following him for three and a half decades. Well, I'm sure he's appreciating that. Buy many more books. What you haven't read, you should go out today and buy. Yes, and Kate, save them for next Christmas. Hey, birthday presents, Christmas presents. One thing I can tell you is there's a lot of sci-fi fans in this country, and just get out there and buy them. What do you mean? Wait, what would he? So wait, what? So I'll ask him, but you tell me, what kind of fan do you consider yourself to be? You consider yourself to be a light sci-fi with a fantasy twist is what he considers himself. He wanted to know, what would you recommend from your library to read?
Yeah, Rainbow Mars.
Oh, there you go. Right off the bat. No, we ain't asking what it is because we got to go. We got to go, people.
And I do want to put a plug in at this point, too, for Writers of the Future. Larry's the judge, and like he said, he loves reading the stories, and you're guaranteed to find good stories in Writers of the Future every year. We publish 12 new authors, and Larry's been part of on the cusp of helping to discover these new writers. So that's something we're very excited about. So anybody who wants to write and submit, you can go to writersofthefuture.com and submit your story, or you go to Galaxy Press, or to Barnes & Noble, or to Books A Million, or to Indigo, or wherever in other countries, and get a copy of a Writers of the Future book and read it and see for yourself why it is that it's considered the best of the best new writers. And these are the writers, not that I selected, but that Larry and other judges as himself have selected as the best new writers.
Since you said that, I got one more question. So Larry, I know you're reading all these stories, and I've read the last 5, well, more than that now, but how do you feel about the crop of writers coming into the sci-fi world? I mean, I know you see a lot of writers come through. I mean, I've personally met almost 50 myself from Writers of the Future. I mean, how do you feel? Do you feel that the sci-fi world is going to be in good hands in the future?
Yeah, I haven't kept good track, but there's some good science fiction out there. Someone very ambitious by my standards.
Well, that makes me feel better. It truly does. Anyway, guys and girls, we got to go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the Author's Quill. You had Larry Niven with us, who's a prolific writer who is actually quite famous. And if you look him up, you'll find he has many credits to his name. So you should get out there and check them all out. Actually, Earl asked something earlier. Is all your work still published? Is it all still being published?
I think most of it is in print.
Okay, in print. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Get out there and check it out. We got to go. Again, no, people, you can't just walk up and do that. You can write to John. John's all over the place. Go over to galaxypress.com and use your email and make it attention to John. And I'm not giving you his email because you might be some crazy person. No, do it like that. And if it's something legit, if it's something on a website, just go on a website. And if you can't find what you're looking for, just write to somebody off the website. Yes, it's a pretty straightforward website. Yes, it is. It's pretty straightforward. But anyway, we got to go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the Author's Quill. Larry, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You have been absolutely fabulous. Guys and girls, we got a lot of different people coming up over the next couple of weeks. I know Jeffrey will be hosting in 2 weeks, so y'all can catch him. I don't know who he's got on. He's probably going to be some Bigfoot guy or some shit. I'm sorry. Something scary like that. And And then I know Carl Wellis is going to come host a show in about 5 weeks with us. And Carl Wellis, guys, is a prosecutor out of New York City. He's going to come host a show on Sci-Fi, actually, on that. But again, thanks again for tuning in tonight. I will see everybody on, well, I got a Science and Beyond on Monday, so I'll see y'all on there. Until then, enjoy your life. Enjoy your weekend. Have some fun. And look, at least try being nice to somebody. Good night, everybody.